As you're looking at what's going on right now, how much of today's social ills can we attribute to the absence of the male or the absence of the father?
That's an excellent question. And what I'd like to do is kind of, if you can visualize, let's go back to, let's say, the Industrial Revolution. Now, the Industrial Revolution was in America. Now, we're talking about men specifically in America. The Industrial Revolution was the time where we stopped working on a farm to make our money, and they built plants. So everybody's working in a plant. So men left their home and went to a plant to work. So they would work there all day. And you're going to see the degradation of manhood. And so what happens is, what used to happen when you were in a farm, the boy worked with his dad all day long. He went to school, then he came home. He spent all his time with his father. He saw his father in his good times. He saw his father in his bad times. He saw his father when he had the opportunity to lie and did not. So the boy is learning how to behave, how to be a man. So when the Industrial Revolution came along, all the men left and went to the factories. Well, you worked at a factory all day, you came home, all you want to do is relax. But now you still have this boy that you have not seen all day that wants to be around his father. You don't have time. So right away what happens is, if you imagine a man standing here, then you imagine the boy standing right next to that man, and he's with him all the time. So he can glean from that man what's happening. How you behave, how you don't behave, how you treat your mother, how you treat other women. So he gleans all those things. So when the boy is no longer spending time with his father like that, you have them, instead of having them like this, you have them like this. So they don't spend enough time together. So the problem happens. So you take this boy, and I'm going to try to make this as visual as I possibly can. You take this boy, you move him here. He is now a man. So he has a child. He already has a disconnect with his father. So now this disconnected boy is now a man. So now let's go forward, and you go forward to, say, World War II. Well, the problem in World War II, that was the next generation. In World War II, what happened is you have a man, and you no longer have a boy here, you have a boy here. So they're not as connected anyway. So the man went off to war. Well, when all the men went off to war, the women took the jobs. So the boy was around women all day long. He never saw how he had to be as a man because there were no men around. His principals, his teachers, everybody he saw during the day, they were women. And so when the man comes back from war, he's disconnected, because when you go to war, you have to disconnect yourself so that you can even make it. So he comes back with that disconnection. He already has a son that's here. Remember, they used to be here. He has a son that's here now. Well, when he comes back, he's already disconnected. That boy is here. So he doesn't spend hardly any time with his son because he doesn't even know how to connect to anybody. So you take that boy, and that boy becomes this man. So now you see how the man is constantly becoming disconnected from his son. And so you take that boy and you bring him here, and then you bring the women's movement, and now the women are saying, well, I don't even need a man. So now you have a man here that can't even get to his boy regularly, so that boy is way over there now. So that boy is figuring out from all his friends, from everybody else, how to behave. Now the problem is that boy that's way out there still has to become a man. When he becomes a man, he does not know how to connect with other men. He doesn't know how to teach other boys. He doesn't know how to do any of those things. So those men are our fathers.